Hi, Mike Janung here. Welcome to day 26 of 30 Days of Prayer. And I want to start by reading from Isaiah chapter 6. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above him stood the seraphim. Each had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. And one called to another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the foundations of the threshold shook at the voice of him who called, and the house was filled with smoke. And I said, Woe is me, for I am lost, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Then one of the seraphim flew to me, having in his hand a burning coal that he had taken with tongs from the altar. And he touched my mouth and said, Behold, this has touched your lips, your guilt is taken away, and your sin atoned for. And I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? And then I said, Here I am, send me. And note the order that happened here. First, Isaiah encounters God. God does a work of healing. And then after that, God goes to Isaiah and says, basically, do you want to go and fulfill a mission? So first off, the relationship always has to come first with the Lord. And that's why from the very beginning of these 30 days, we've done a lot of praying about getting closer to God and making sure that's first, and seeking Him with urgency and fervency, and going after Him and making that your life's purpose is to go after God and stay close to Him. And then after Isaiah is healed by God and he says, Who wants to go? Isaiah puts his hand out and says, Send me. And that's what I want to encourage you to do today. If you're in a place where you're ready to go, and if you're in a place where you're not ready to go, because sometimes God offers and says, I want you to go, and you may feel like you're a wreck, and you feel like you have nothing to offer, and that's actually a good place to be, because then you're not hopefully going to be relying on yourself. We have way too many believers who rely on their own flesh, their own strength, and we don't want that. So it's not a bad thing if you say, God, I'm not ready. But if He says, go, then go. So my challenge to you today is say, Here am I, God, send me. We have a lot of Christians who are at the sidelines and just watching. You can tell just by social media, the comments people make. They're all, a lot of people are making comments about everything these days. I mean, that's good. You can express yourself, but what are you doing to make a difference? What's your prayer life like? Are you crying out to God 1 hour a day? Are you a prayer warrior? Are you an intercessor? Are you talking to people about the Lord? What is it you're doing that's making an impact in the society that's crumbling right now? So my challenge to you is to go, Here am I, God, send me. Show me what you want to do. Send me into the battle. Send me into the fight. And each person has a different gift. For you, it might be spending a lot more time in prayer and praying down strongholds and praying for the government and praying for ministries like this. It could be that God has a special purpose for you. He wants you to, I'm just throwing things out, set up a conference for us or set up a conference somewhere else. Whatever it is, you just don't know. I mean, if you'd asked me January of this year, told me I'd be moving to Arizona and talking to you in 100-degree heat, I'd be like, what? And I'm sure my family would agree with that too. You don't know where God is going to send you. So part of this thing is to take away your expectations and the way you think it's going to look. And you also need to remember that success in man's eyes doesn't look like success in God's eyes. So right after Isaiah said, Here am I, send me, what did the Lord say? Go and say to this people, keep on hearing, but do not understand. Keep on seeing, but do not perceive. Make the heart of this people dull, and their ears heavy, and they blind their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and understand with their hearts and turn and be healed. Like you can almost hear his voice when he says, then I said, how long, oh Lord, how long do I got to do that? Because he's saying, you're going to go talk to a bunch of people and give them a message, and they're not going to listen to you. In fact, history tells us, tradition tells us that Isaiah died a horrible death in a log and was sawn in two. We don't have hard proof of that, but there's a lot of people who think that. And that was mentioned, I think, in the role of people who God honored by their faith. They were talked about being sawn in two, and a lot of people think Isaiah was in with that. Then I said, how long, O Lord? And he said, until cities lie waste without inhabitant, and houses without people, and the land is desolate. So Isaiah's mission was to go to a bunch of people who did not want to listen and keep giving them God's message until the whole thing collapsed. You have to remember that if you say, here am I, send me, he may send you in a place, and it may not be fun, and it may involve a lot of warfare. I can tell you, we experienced that plenty ourselves. But there's no other way to live life. There's just no other way to have any kind of satisfaction in life. I mean, part of the satisfaction is knowing that we're walking with God, we're doing what he wants, we're walking in the stream of his will, we're walking in obedience, we're walking in his strength, in his voice, in his message, in his power. Those are the things that count, not what you want to do, not what your plans are like. Part of it, what we have to do is set our plans aside. We don't know how this whole thing should work, and he may have a total left turn for you in the days coming ahead. So expect nothing. Expect him to, who knows what he's going to do. But it has to begin with, are you willing to say, here am I, send me? And that's the challenge today.